Okay, this is Sunday, 12:30 Pacific Standard Time, and this is a weekly update. I've been busy the last 2 days, so I haven't had a chance to get any videos out, but I want to make sure I got this video out just to see what happened last week and what's going on for next week that I believe is going to happen. So the market went up. So we'll look at a couple things. One is long term. We're still in a downtrend, still a bear market. That's long term. Midterm, starting from here, we're in an uptrend, and then of course with a day trading, we're obviously in an uptrend right there for day trade. So we have long term. We have down. It's a bear market, and then the midterm and both the midterm and the short term is bullish. So let's see. Go back to the 4-hour chart. So last week I didn't expect the market to do this. I thought from this point on it was going to come down. It went up on nothing. There's volumes very low. Talked to a couple of my friends that are day traders, and they said not a very good time to day trade last week, just those last several days, because the market, even though it went up each day, was just, it was the price movement on it was so small. It wasn't a very good day trade, but we'll get into that. But anyway, as far as this goes, market gapped up several times. Last time the market did that was probably back up in here, or maybe here, and then of course it came down. I believe that's what's going to happen. So I still have my put options in here, and I am taking a loss right now, but those put options that I have are longer term, so that's okay. And I believe this market is way overextended, and it's going to come down. It might come down really hard, actually, kind of like this. It might even start with the overnight trading. It's possible that might happen. So I know it's not good to predict the market, but like I said, I got longer term options in here, and I had the short term options that I've converted into day trade option I converted into longer term, and I hung in there, definitely taking a loss on those. Probably it's not a good practice to do that, but I'm doing it because there are some rules that I do break, only because I do believe it's going to go down. Worst case scenario, break even, but I don't think so. I think it's still going to take some kind of a gain on that. One thing I did do is I actually waited to the end of the market on Friday, and I bought some put options up here. Now, it's probably not a good idea for beginners to do that, because you want to have certain rules that you have, and also you want to have a certain system that you go by, and you want to follow that. But there are times when you can break those rules. You just have to know when. And so I did buy some put options here because I'm thinking this is just going to come straight down. I doubt if it's going to come straight up, continue, because if it does, this is pretty much parabolic. You know, this market has to retrace, at least retrace to here, to this gap, you know, very minimum, if it's going to continue up in this uptrend. So here's a daily chart. Let's go maybe a max. So obviously you can see here trend lines. You know, market's definitely going up. There's no doubt about that. This is definitely an uptrend right here within this bear market. And so that's the midterm, is an uptrend here. So you don't want to fight the market. You know, of course, this thing could come down here and then still come down and still come back up and keep going. I think it's going to continue with this bear market because actually there's nothing going on out there that's really positive. I've been through this in 2008 and 2000, where the markets have done this, and of course they always come back up, retrace, and then they come down. So I believe that's what's going to happen. This thing's going to start dropping. I don't know when that's going to happen, but best thing is not to really predict how long it's going to take. It's you want to know when to get in and when to get out, and for maximum profit. So for me, obviously, I'm not using volume. I'm not using any indicators. There are some traders that I know of that are really good traders. One of them, she's been trading for about 42 years, and she swears that just a couple indicators. They don't use a lot, and she uses price action and volume. And there's another trader I know uses that too, and they're really good traders. They've been trading for a long time, and they swear by that. I don't care about volume, and I'm going to discuss why I don't do that in my course. But right here, I don't think I need to talk about that. I go by price action. That's what I do. A couple things I look at. I look at trend, long-term, mid-term, and short-term trend, depending on how I'm trading, and then I look for those balance areas. And just to show you, well, let's see, go into 4-hour chart. I always trade these balance areas, and sometimes you don't see them in the midterm charts. But if you're day trading, you always, I mean, they're there, and always, like, here's a balance area here. There's kind of one here, and then you get little ones in here, and then that's what I look for. I look for that. Now, if the trend's going up, then I look for the balance area, which is on this one. There's a balance area right there. That's what I look for. I'm not looking at volume or anything. So volume is basically low right now. I know that because that's why these are it's just a short run from here to here, same from here to here, and this one's a little bit longer stretch here, so this was a better day to trade, but there's not much happening here. But anyway, you look at these balance areas, and when it starts breaking, that's when you get in. So I don't look at volume, I don't look at any indicator. All I look is this, and if it breaks, I get in. It's that simple. I look at price. And same thing with this. You had another balance area right here. And there's a balance area there. And if it breaks, then you get in. Now, of course, this broke overnight, so you couldn't trade overnight unless you're trading futures. You had to wait till the next day, then it built a balance area, then it broke up. So obviously it's an uptrend, so you don't want to fight the trend. Same thing here, you get a little balance area in here, and then you get these little balance areas right here. And that's it. That's all I look for. And we go, okay, this is an uptrend. Here's a balance area, just broke loose. You look for a confirmation second bar. It starts going in there, always retraces. Boom, hits back down. Then it goes up. And then there's a good trade right there. Another thing, here's another balance area in here, right in here. It broke loose, retested, and it went back up. Okay, pretty simple. I mean, that's what I look at. I don't look at indicators, moving averages, because they're not going to tell me what this tells me. This is obvious, you know. So, but this is for day trades. You know, of course, if you're a long-term trader, this doesn't mean anything to you. But it's the same thing with these charts too. You know, you still get these balance areas in here, and if the market breaks loose, it comes down, it always retests, and then it breaks up. And you say, okay, this is it's an uptrend right here. So you always look at trend. So it's uptrend also with that. To me, this is overextended right here in this uptrend. I think it's ready to switch. Like I said, I thought it was going to happen here, but it didn't. So it came up this far. Obviously, if it starts coming up higher, I'm going to have to decide what I'm going to do with some of my positions. I would think of this one straight up here, parabolic, pretty dangerous, you know, without having to any kind of correction. And then, now if this was a true bear market, long term also, and this went up parabolic, then I would say, yeah, this makes sense. It would go up like this because of whatever happened, and then it came down and retraced, and it would continue up. We're still in a bear market longer term, so I don't believe that's going to happen, and that's where I'm putting my money. Anyway, you decide what you want to do. Like I said, I did buy some put options in here, so we'll see what happens in the next market. I did break some of my rules only because there's no balance area here. You know, why would this thing come down? Well, I think it's coming down because it's already way overbought. You've got 3 gaps here. I don't see any other place, even this only had 2 gaps where that happened. You know, you got 1 gap there, and you got a pretty big gap here. But, you know, 3 little gaps, it's pretty unusual for that to happen with no volume. So to me, I'm believing that they're just driving this up. I know the markets are manipulated, definitely manipulated. Not saying it's devious. It's like they drive it up, they get a bunch of people in, and then they drive it straight down, and then those people lose their money. It's just how this game is played. Once you're trading for years, you realize that's what's going on, and then you can use that to your advantage. Okay, so what's going to happen next week? For me, I believe next week this is going to start coming down, and then I can start making some money on my put options. I can't really predict that right now. I have to kind of wait day by day what's going to happen, even for my longer term trades. So Monday, let's say this starts coming down, or even overnight today, the market's going to open up at 3 p.m. Today, Pacific Standard Time. And then the market could start moving even down. It could go up, but I don't know. I mean, it's already stretched pretty far. But like I said last week, when you use those indicators like MACD, or even RSI, and you see how these markets get oversold, they can get way oversold. And that's why a lot of those indicators don't work, because they can go into the oversold and way oversold and extremely oversold, and you know the market's still going up. So I don't think this is a valid move, only because, like I said, there's no volume. So that means that somebody's driving this thing up. It's definitely not a lot of traders, because the volume is like super low. And that's, to me, that just means that they're just trying to get in a bunch of people to buy, and all of a sudden they're just going to turn this thing around. Okay, so next week we'll see what happens. That's actually tomorrow, and see if this market does go down, and we'll look for some positions to get in. As far as a day trade goes, same thing. You know, market starts heading down. Of course, you know, this ES trades overnight, so you might, if you're not an overnight trader, you're gonna have to wait till it hits. It could come, let's say, down to here. Hypothetically, let's say it just came down to here, and you'll just have to wait till tomorrow and wait for a balance area. And if you believe that this market's turning around, then you'll have to short it. But again, you don't want to fight this trend. This is going up, but you know, every trend does end, you know, and if this is the end, let's say here, and it needs to come down and to build another trend going down. It hasn't done that yet. It's still in the uptrend, midterm. But once it starts doing that, then you start turning everything around. You start buying a bunch of puts in there. Of course, you can buy puts in here. You can buy puts here, trade it down. You can buy puts here and trade it down. And you buy calls here and trade it up. So that's a good thing about trading with options. You can go both ways. Same thing with the short-term trades, you know, like day trading. Okay, I think that's it for now. Not much to say. Like I said, if you, it's probably good to wait to see what happens tomorrow. Let's see if this trend here, midterm trend, breaks and eventually starts coming down in this area. It probably pretty much has to break this line come down, and then you get more bars coming down, and then that's going to be confirmation. Now we're going into a downtrend midterm. So let's see if the market's ready for that. All right, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.